Cloud Cowork works with local files instead of uploading to the cloud, which means no file limits and way more context. I'm showing you how to set up your workspace from scratch and how to customize it based on what you actually needed to do. It is one of the core capabilities of Cowork that it will be pretty useful if you know. Plus, I'll show you a few tricks we're going to implement that help with token efficiency so you're hitting your plan limit a lot less often. When I first heard about Cowork, I thought it was just Claude Chat with a fancier interface. I was wrong, the difference is actually fundamental. Claude Chat lives in the cloud, it forgets everything when the conversation ends, and it can't catch files on your computer. Cowork lives on your machine, it reads and writes actual files, it remembers everything across sessions, and it can automate tasks while you're asleep. Before we build anything, let me explain what Cowork Workspace actually is, because this trips a lot of people up. A workspace is literally a folder on your computer. That's it. Cowork reads the files inside that folder to understand who it is, what rules to follow, and what tasks to help you with. Every single thing Cowork knows about you, your preferences, your memory, your workflows, lives in markdown files inside that folder. And you control it completely. And here's why that matters, because Claude Chat forgets everything the moment you close the window. Cowork remembers everything forever because it's just files sitting on your hard drive. Now navigate to your Cowork Workspace directory, create a new folder, personal-finance-tracker. Every Cowork Workspace starts the same way, folders on your computer. That's it. It's not some complicated platform, it literally files and folders that Cowork can read. So let's create ours. I'm going to build a personal finance tracker with 5 workstations, Budget HQ for managing monthly budgets, expense tracker for logging and categorizing every transaction, saving planner for tracking goals like an emergency fund or a vacation, and build command for making sure nothing slips through the crack. _resources goes first because the leading zeros keep it sorted on the top. By the way, all the files and templates are in the link down in the description. Now we need the most important file in the entire workspace, CLAUDE.md. This is the brain. Every time you start a Cowork session, this file loads automatically. It tells Cowork who it is, how to behave, and where to route your tasks. And the key here is keeping it lean. And we can ask Claude to create this folder, but we're gonna just adjust it if Claude makes it to be more token efficient. Or you can do this by opening text editor, VS Code, Notepad, whatever you use. Create a new file type, the heading #Claude.md, personal finance tracker, and add a horizontal rule. Save the files as Claude.md inside the root personal finance tracker folder. If you're using text editor in Mac, make sure to save it in .md file, otherwise it would be saved as RTF file. I'm going to do the memory.md file this way. Right now you can do the same with Claude.md. We're going to build this with 6 sections and nothing more. Section 1 is the memory system. This is 3 lines that tell Cowork to check memory.md before doing anything. Without this, every session starts fresh with 0 context about your finances, and it also includes 2 tests, a quick cheat sheet for Cowork to figure out where to save new information. Rules go in Claude.md, facts go in memory.md. Simple as that. Up next, preferences and rules. Preferences control how Cowork talks to you. I keep mine simple, direct tone, use tables for numbers, and always format in USD. Rules are your guardrails, things Cowork must always or never do. And here's the important part, only put rules here that apply to every single session. If a rule only matters when you're doing taxes, it goes somewhere else. We will get to that. Look at how short these are, 4 preferences, 5 rules. You don't need 40 rules in here, you need the ones that fire every session, everything else goes into reference files. This is the part that I love. The routing map. Think of it as a traffic controller. When you tell Cowork, I need to check my budget or log this expense, it scans this table and automatically loads the right workspace. Each workstation gets its own identity and its own trigger conditions. So Cowork doesn't just know where to go. It knows who to be when it gets there. Last 2 sections, references are pointers to the files that Cowork only loads when it needs them. This is huge for keeping your token usage low. Instead of cramming your tax deduction checklist into Claude.md, where it loads every single session, you put one line pointer here that says only grab it when I'm doing tax stuff. And finally, a short template for creating new workstations later. If you try to open a markdown file in a normal way, double click in it on your computer, this is what you get. Raw text, pound signs everywhere, dashes. It is readable if you know what you're looking at, but it's annoying to edit and honestly pretty easy to break the formatting by accident. There's a much better way to do this, and it's completely free. This is Obsidian. It's a free app, and you can download it at obsidian.com. Now, I want to be clear about something. Obsidian is an incredibly powerful note-taking app with hundreds of features, but we're not using any of that. We're just using it for one reason and one reason only. It reads markdown files beautifully. It's demonstrate them to you beautifully. And that's it. Think of it like a lens that sits on top of your workspace folder and make everything readable. When you first open Obsidian, it asks you to open or create a vault. A vault in Obsidian is a folder on your computer. So you click open folder as a vault and navigate to your personal finance tracker folder and hit open. This is the entire setup. No important, no syncing, no accounts. Obsidian just points at your folder and starts reading everything inside it. As you can see, our Claude.md does the same thing what Claude Cowork on its own have created, but we've got much more clean and neat Claude.md file with consistently fewer lines to read and do. So when you continue your work for a few days or weeks, you won't notice that you're hitting your limit because it keeps unnecessary commands in the other related files that calls when needed. Now let's create the memory file. If Claude.md is the brain, memory.md is the notebook. This is where Cowork stores facts about your life that could change, your income, your account balances, your active goals. It reads this at the start of every session, so it has context. I structure mine with these sections: active project, scheduled tasks, and core memory. Now let's fill up that 00_resources folder. These are the fields Cowork only touches when it needs them. I've got 4 ready to go: a tax deduction checklist, a debit payoff strategy, subscription audit rules, and budget category definitions. Each one has detailed instructions that would bloat your Claude.md if you put them here, but sitting in 00_resources, they cost you 0 tokens until you actually need them. As I said before, you can download these files, then you can link down in the description. If you have any specific point you can add here. All right, almost there. Each workstation needs 2 files: its own Claude.md that defines how it works, and its own memory.md that stores workstation specific data. Now let me show you what these looks like, starting with budget HQ. Okay, so before I show you this, I want to be honest with you about something. Everything we've built so far, the workstations, the memory files, the routing map, it's all incredibly powerful, but there's one thing that could slow you down on your daily use: manually typing or dropping files in local folders, CSV files, screenshots, data sheets of your expenses, your bills, your bank transactions into Cowork every single time, or any other Cowork workspace that you created by yourself or see in tutorials elsewhere. That gets old fast. So I suggest you always build a solution, a local dashboard or app that lives right inside your workspace folder. No installation, no subscription, no account. Just one HTML file you open in your browser, drag and drop there, or whichever cool feature you see in other apps, try to create something similar to them and implement it in your Cowork. Let me show you what it does. The centerpiece is this drag and drop zone right here. You see all those file types it accepts: XLS, PDF, TXT. That covers pretty much every format your bank will ever give you. Export your transaction from Chase, drag it in, download your credit card statement as PDF, drag it in, have a wish list in a spreadsheet, you can drag it in. The dashboard reads the file name and automatically figures out which workstation the file should go. Bank statement goes to expense tracker, budget spreadsheets goes to budget HQ, a file with wish list or saving in the name goes to the saving planner, It's not magic, it's just smart naming detection. And here's where it's get really useful. You're not limited to one file at a time. Let's say you just did your monthly financial review. You've got your bank statement, your credit card CSV, and your savings spreadsheets all ready to go. Select all three, drag them in together. The dashboard queues them all up, detects each one individually, and routes them into right workstation. And if you want to do them all automatically, you have to implement some Python codes, which you can drop a comment if you want to know about that. And you can ask Claude to write it. It's pretty easy. And you can see one drop, 3 files processed, 0 manual typing. Now this is the part that saves you the most time. Once your files are queued up, you hit this button, generate cowork prompt, and what happened next is the whole reason I built this. The dashboard reads your files, figures out which workstation they belong to, and writes you a complete ready-to-paste cowork prompt. It tells cowork exactly which workstation to load, which file to read, how to categorize the data, what to log to your memory.md, and give you a summary at the end. You just copy it, paste it into cowork, and let it run. No manual prompt writing or figuring out how to do the right instructions or changing the formats. The dashboard does it for you. Up here in the top right, we've got your Workspace health panel. I've set a 300 line rule that I'm going to talk about in the next video. Some people do 250, some people do 300, some people do 400. Keeping your root Claude.md lean so it doesn't burn token every session. This dashboard tracks it for you automatically. Right now you can see Claude.md is at 62 lines and memory.md is at 28. That green bar means we're well within the green zone. If either of those start creeping towards 300, the bar turns amber, then red. It's like a fuel gauge for your workspace. Glance at it before every session and you'll always know if you need to do some cleanup. Below the health panel, you've got your 4 workstations displayed as a clickable cards. Budget HQ, expense tracker, saving planner, bill command. Click any of them and it instantly copies the launch command to your clipboard. So instead of typing budget HQ every single time you start a session, you just click the card, paste it into Cowork, and you're in. Simple, but it saves those little moments of friction that add up over time. And I'm asking you to add these kind of cool features to your workspace when you see any feature of the app that it's gonna suit you. And then down here is probably my favorite part of the whole dashboard, pre-building Cowork commands for the 6 things you'll do most often with your finance workspace. Budget checks, saving snaps, upcoming bills, subscription audit, workspace audit, monthly spending summary. Each one is written as a complete optimized Cowork prompt. You click on it, it copies to the clipboard and pastes it into Cowork. No thinking required. And if you want to add your own commands, you just open the HTML file, scroll to the quick command section and add new entry. It takes about 2 minutes. Setting this up takes about 10 seconds. The dashboard HTML file is linked in the description. Download it and drop it directly to the workspace folder right alongside your Claude.md file, memory.md files. Then just double click it. It opens your browser like any web page and it runs completely locally. No internet required, no login, no data set anywhere. You can bookmark it in your browser so you can click and open it. That's it. Your Cowork workspace has its own control panel. Setup is done. Now let's make sure it actually works. I'm going to open Cowork and run a few commands to see if it picks up the workspace correctly. Let's say I just set up my personal finance. Can you confirm? You can read my root Claude.md and MEMORY.md files. As you know, these are just examples. You should design your own system. I'm just showing how it works, how to set it up. Now, let's say load budget HQ, show me my current budget for this month. Pretty good job done here. Let's say I spent $32 at a coffee shop this morning. All these efforts have been transformed into a simple drag and drop. As you know, I just want to show you different ways to how to using it. Now, let's say which budget categories am I overspending this month? Okay, I'm not overspending. I wish it was my real life financial behavior. You can download every single file and customize it with your own numbers. And if you want to understand why I structured this way, why CLAUDE.md is only 60 lines, why reference files save you tokens, and how to optimize any workspace you build, I'm covering all of that in my next video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. I'll see you in the next one.